to do no wrong.
Black power.
But now to you, Tahuti.
Here. Oh.
You don't want to fuck with him, Tahuti.
I don't. Because you can't get a goddamn word in.
I'll bring that radio show up.
I bring it up.
I'll bring that radio show up.
Bring the radio show up.
Not only that, Tahuti.
I done proved this already. I done proved it already.
How come you felt the need? How come you felt the need?
Let him talk. Go ahead.
As a black man, Tahuti, or as a man approaching blackness?
He's a leader,
right?
leader.
I'm not assuming. And that's not saying you're not black. That's saying it's a question mark right now for this reason, right?
All right, my brother. What's your name?
You sat there for the first, I don't know, hour or so, hour and a half of this damn show and did nothing but bash black men.
No, I didn't.
And at the end, you gonna add like this shit was gonna clean up all that bullshit. Okay. Oh, but don't get it twisted.
One at a time,
a black woman needs a black man.
Let me say something.
Peace and Black Power, family. For more conscious DVDs, go to www.houseofconsciousness.com. Come on and support your brother Sarnetta. I've been doing this work, bringing you information for years. Now, let's get right to it. House of Consciousness presents Natural Tahuti and his views on history. This is Natural Tahuti's view, not mine, family. So please do not get me mixed up in that mess.
Real quick, can you prove how black you are since you question his blackness? Can you prove how black you are?
You took it the wrong way.
No, then how I understand it then? Well, clarify it. Clarify it.
Yeah, because he just called me.
Yeah, clarify that. Clarify it.
Come on, man. I did what I did.
No, clarify that.
Black power.
Because you talk about.
Let him address that.
Okay,
he's approaching blackness.
Okay.
Peace.
You didn't say he was
Allahu Akbar.
Are you approaching blackness? You black already.
Have you ever heard me?
Hey, yo, Sutek, let Tahuti, because he going at Tahuti.
Okay,
I
peace.
told y'all how Sutek would be. 5 minutes, there he is.
All right, peace.
Because he always got to insult people.
Here's the problem.
All right, go ahead.
Here's the problem. Whenever I talk about this issue about the woman,
here you go, Larry. He's addressing it. Come on, man.
us men take the issue that I am attacking men. I'm not.
Yes, you are.
What I'm doing is, I want you to be able to see.
Brother. You don't know you doing it, Tahuti. But when I heard the whole show myself, you my man. You know that. You was really putting down the black man, brother. Through the whole show, Tahuti.
Can I talk?
You did. You ain't uplift the black man.
Let me talk. Let me talk.
Go ahead, brother.
What I'm trying to show you is this. We are under the white male rule. In the white male rule, we become powerless because our power has been stripped away from us. Our economical power, our political power, our spiritual power, our educational power, all those things have been stripped away from us. We have literally been taken away from our African minds and turned it to something totally opposite of our original African spiritual mind. So now, when I talk about this subject about men and women, the men respond out of fear. The one thing that the white man does that we normally don't have the luxury to do, and that's think in terms of 100 years. We're not thinking in terms of 100 years. You know why? Because we're thinking only about our individual selves. You know why? You got to pay your bills. You got to pick your kids up from school. You got to get to work. You don't have time to sit there and think about 100 years from now. Just say that I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, still, we need to uplift the black woman. You know why? Because if the black woman begins to start thinking like a god, us men can start thinking in terms of 100 years from now. Because the children that you will begin to produce, you understand what I'm saying? You will be the kinds of men and women that we need to stand up and fight this revolution.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying? He didn't hear nothing I said.
He heard most of it.
Listen.
He didn't hear nothing I said.
All right. This is the issue. It's not that we feel that you are attacking black men, Brother Tahuti. It's not what we feel. It's more like what we hear, right? I listened to you on this radio show last night.
Name one thing I attack black men.
I don't want to nitpick.
No,
what I'm saying to you, brother, in all earnestness, right? I'm not telling you to stop trying to uplift black women. You understand? I don't have a problem with strong black women. If it wasn't for strong black women, we probably would not have survived. You understand? I understand my history here in America. If it wasn't for strong black women, we probably wouldn't have any cohesiveness as a group, as an identifiable group, because frankly, the men ain't keeping us together. You understand? So that's not where I'm going. What I'm saying is, you seem to think that in order to explain to women why they should be better is because of situations that they find themselves in with men. And you be talking about black men because you be saying black men this and black men that, and you making contrasts. I understand the contrasting argument. What I'm saying is, it's not necessary to tear your brother down in order to build your sister up. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's my only issue.
I don't recall any time on the radio show last night, and everybody can go and get it. New Black Panther Party Blog Talk radio show where you can go and check out what Natural Tahuti was talking about this issue. We're not tearing the black man down. What we have to be able to do is we need to begin to sit in think tanks and start thinking 100 years in advance. Right now, we only think about our own individual asses.
It's $2.
You see what I'm saying to you? We're not thinking 100 years in advance.
Yeah, that's too much.
And this is why it's so important for us to uplift the black woman so that we can think in terms of 100 years in advance. Now, when I dealt with the topic of the first gender wars, and I said the brothers are going to get mad at me with this, because the first wars on this planet were gender wars.
Yeah, but see, when you make the mistake, Tahu, you make the mistake when you say the black man is the one that subjugated the woman first. When you do that,
okay,
you got to really look at that right there, because that right there sets up now.
Okay,
now the black woman can really be mad at the black man.
Now, see, now
we the ones that stripped her of her power.
My point in case is this: we like to romanticize our history, and we don't. It's easy for us to create a scapegoat and say the white man did everything. But my question to you is, if we are the gods and goddesses, the most magical...
I never said we was the gods and goddesses.
If we are the first people on this planet, the first warriors, kings, queens,
right,
mystical, magical, and all of those great things,
right,
if we did those things, how the hell did we let a teenage mutant ninja turtle come out the caves of Europe and come over and steal what we have?
Okay, no. Let him get in. You're going to answer it. Let's answer it.
I don't take an hour like you do.
Right, just let him get in. Come here, Tahuti.
Based on what Tahuti said, he's given everything that he's saying that we're throwing onto ourselves, and why the white man could come in and take us down from where we are. He's putting all of that on the black woman. And if all of that was the black woman, how did we do it to her? You understand what I'm saying? How did we do that to her?
Here's the history. I didn't say that. You have to understand, we have a Eurocentric concept of what God is when I say the black woman is God.
Right.
No, it does not. And I done proved this already. The word God did not originate with Europeans. It originated with the Africans. The word Kut is where they got the word God from. The word Kut is associated with the mound, the burial mounds. It's also associated with the star Serapis. Now, which was one of the names of the great mother of our set. So, what I'm saying is, damn, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Edit that part. Edit that part, man. I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I know what made you lose it. Look, look.
Here we go.
Look. Where's that? He just lost his train of thought.
I know where I'm at. Okay, I know where I'm at.
Hey, yo,
so now,
you heard him?
so now, we want to romanticize our own history. The first wars on this planet were gender wars. And the people who engaged in those wars were Africans. Now,
when you say gender wars, you're talking about man against woman.
Yes. Yes. Now, here's the history, and then I'm going to give you the scholarship for you to go research it.
Go ahead, brother.
The matriarchal societies or civilizations began to start changing over as early as King Men's. They began to start changing over from a matriarchy to a patriarchy. It was the women who had taught the man the science of how to smelt metals. Man took that.
Yo, chill, man.
Man took that and began to upgrade it and start mass producing the metals. They made weapons of war. During the 18th
I don't want you to
dynasty,
go all the way through this. No, let him address something.
Okay. The first level of power was spiritual, economical, and political.
Now,
and those offices were held by women.
All right, Brother Tahuti, you on the hot seat today. You on Nabcab. We ain't got time to play your games right now, man. Nabcab. I mean, hold up. You don't know what we talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Go ahead, man.
Let me say, the first political power, you understand, was created by the black man. The first slave was the black woman.
All right, Nabcab, good.
You understand what I'm saying?
Now, Brother Natural Tahuti, you on the hot seat today.
Yes.
What is your purpose of bringing forth a teaching like that the black man is the first one to subjugate his own woman?
That's
why?
the truth.
Why?
I'll tell you why.
That's the truth.
In order for us, I'm a KSAC counselor.
Right.
I deal with substance abuse. A lot of my clients come in, they have been raped by their fathers, raped by their mamas. They've been battered and abused. So we have these classes, these groups called disclosure groups. In the disclosure groups, we get the individuals comfortable enough to begin to start talking about the incident. Because a lot of times what happens when we experience trauma, we try to block the trauma out of our mind. So what we do is we try to get the individual to reopen the traumatic experience that happened to them when they were babies or whatever age they were. By doing that, we began to start healing the individual for talking about it and letting them understand whether it was their own fault, if not their fault. This way they can start addressing those issues.
All right, we're gonna let Larry get in there. Larry, Professor Larry, what are the issues that you have with his teachings, brother?
First of all, right, when you gloss over history, right, you can miss things, and in missing things, not understand how this happened to us. That some Europeans could have did this to some Africans because you miss history. When you look at how the Western African cultures became destabilized, and you look at the history of the starting with the Moorish conquest of Spain and the reconquest of Spain by the Spaniards and the subsequent return to Northern Africa of Moorish troops that destabilized governments. They eventually wound up in places like Songhai and Mali. That's how those people became Muslims up in there.
Let me ask you, what are you talking about, brother?
What he said. I told you. See, I told you to let me address it. When it happened.
But you're talking about AD, and I'm talking about BC.
He wants to know.
Did you hear what he just said?
What he wants to know is how this happened to us.
All right.
How can he talking about how can a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle do this to us?
Go ahead, brother. There you go.
I'm trying to explain it.
Break it down.
You understand?
But you're in AD, and I'm talking
No, let him break it down.
Actually,
Just go, Larry.
this happened to us in AD, right? And
no, it started happening before then.
No, see,
the mechanism began to happen before then,
brother,
because Egypt had no shortages.
Brother, this don't have nothing to do with Egypt.
Oh yeah, it began there.
No, brother, this don't have nothing to do with Egypt.
Let's show and prove, lad.
What I'm saying is, Europeans in England, France, Portugal, and conniving with corrupt kings on the continent of Africa and stealing our people ain't got shit to do with Egypt. What it has to do with the destabilization of Western Africa, and that happened when the Moors re-entered Africa because they destabilized those countries like Songhai and Mali, where Timbuktu was. Those were Muslims in there, and they were Muslims because they had been invaded by Arabs. And this is AD, and that destabilized those people because those Muslims brought those Arab values, and they looked at our people who weren't Muslims as something to be taken advantage of. That's what destabilized Western Africa. Okay. That's why you have Islam from Senegal all the way to up in the Nigeria and Ghana, all back up in the Mali, all up in the Timbuktu.
So how did the Muslims
now?
You talking about how the Europeans did it? How did the Muslims do it?
Hold on.
No, he was
on the answer.
No, you was explaining how the European came in and did what Tahuti said to the African.
No, I was explaining how he said if we were the kings and queens and all of this.
Yeah, but you were talking about how the European did it.
No, what I was saying, Sutek, was
this. How do y'all have problems with the sun?
What I'm saying is, at the state that the people were in at the time when Europeans got there is how Europeans were able to do what they did.
Okay, so how did the Muslims do it to the African? Because the Muslims did it to the African before the European came in. So how did they do it?
That's what I was
What
conquest.
state were they in before that? How did they conquer that?
Listen, but not...
If they was kings...